19th, 2017. Welcome to the Philly Podcast. Now, yesterday I had some stuff to do, a little bit of homework here and there. Um, so I wasn't able to do a podcast yesterday to recap the Eagles game, which I usually would like to do on Mondays. Didn't get a chance to do that yesterday, but now, I feel like it's a little. I guess in a way, it's better to do it today after another NFC's team played last night, and who turns out to be our opponent in New York, um, the New York Giants. Um, so we can really look at the matchup this week, and we could start today by talking about the Eagles Giants, which will be on Sunday. We know, um, and my thoughts on the Eagles game that took place obviously on Sunday. So, um, I guess it's very late. The fact that I'm doing an Eagles post game or recap or whatever the hell you want to call it. Um, it's Tuesday. I usually get this done like Mondays, but it is what it is. Um, so listen. I think this past weekend was probably the best way. I think it was the best way. It's like it felt okay. Usually, when the Eagles lose, I lose my desire to watch football for the rest of that day or week. I really do. I lose my desire. But the Eagles played a very good team in a very tough atmosphere. Eagles played very well against a team that you will see in January plenty of times, maybe in February. And their stadium is up there with Seattle, almost tied for the toughest place to play in the league. So, I'm very happy with the way the Eagles played. I am. Up until the Wentz pick, um, let's see that pick. I think the Eagles, really hung tough. And hopefully, I think we'll probably get a better understanding this week that game proves, shows you how much better this team has gotten. If you put the team from last year on the field, team from the exact year ago, week two, then the Eagles, then the team that the Eagles were going to put out to play the Bears week two, and if you put that team out a year later, the same group of guys at the same skill level, like Carson Wentz is in his second NFL game, and you put him to play against the Chiefs. In my opinion, I think the Chiefs of this year is just as good as the Chiefs as last year. The Eagles would have gotten thrown out of the stadium and back, maybe across the globe a couple times and back into Philly. Eagles would have gotten killed. But instead, I know the last score was BS. They lost by a possession. They played good enough to beat that team up until the Wentz pick. Listen. If you want to compete, the thing I have to say though about this game is, if you want to compete for playoffs, if you want to, if your quarterback wants to, do well in the big game, they can, and the line too, and the receivers. The offense has to stay in sync through that through the, as much as the offense can't break down like they did with the Wentz pick and then the drive after that where they went 3 and out and that led to the other touchdown. And I know after that they scored a touchdown with Nelson Aguilar, but it just can't break down. It can't. But other than that, I'm very happy with the way they played. I'm very confident going into this week. A little question. I think the way to be. I said it before the season starts. This season started. that if Eli gets an ounce of pressure, if Eli gets pressure, he's done. Um, and that's really been the case. The big case and a big recipe of how the Cowboys and the Lions have beaten the Giants, and definitely will be a big recipe if the Eagles end up beating this Giants team and with this pass rush. Um, I think we're going to just clog up. We're going to barrel. We're going to barrel through that terrible offensive line the Giants have. Eric Flowers is just horrendous. They have a couple. Who else is bad on that line? They got that John Jerry dude. I think Pugh's probably the best lineman. Maybe Rich Berg, but there's not. It's not really that good. Odell Beckham really wasn't a big component to that game last night. Brandon Marshall, he's showing that he's showing that he might be a bust. Again, it's two games. So you don't really know what the deal is with that with Brandon Marshall. He's going to be probably playing with some fire this week, and he's fighting with people, Giants fans on Twitter. So that's that. Who else? Paul, they cannot run the ball. Giants cannot run the ball. So listen, I think the battle. I think the Eagles are just gonna. I know the Giants have probably better. They're supposed to have better receivers. The only receiver I'm really kind of, I don't want to say afraid of a little bit of an impact is Beckham. Eli will probably be lucky to get a pass off against our pass rush against, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, Tim Jernigan, and Tim Jernigan. No, who else is there? Brandon Graham, Vinny Curry, or Derek Barnett. Who else? Whoever it may be. Jordan Hicks, Michael Kendricks. What's his face? Shit, what's his face again? I'm losing. Branham. I think our front seven is just going to dominate in this game against the Giants. I just think they will. Eli, the more pressure you give Eli, the faster, the quicker you get there. The more the chance that you'll have to beat this team. The Giants. They don't scare me one bit. I think on the offensive side of the ball, yes, their defense is I think their defense is still the 11-5 defense. They are just not getting any help from that offense. They are just not. The offense were pretty good. I'd say they probably lose maybe one of those games. If their offense was like halfway decent, they'd be either 1-1 or 2-0. But no, defense. They didn't really keep them in the game last night, but they're still pretty good. But you break it down. They probably have some better run stoppers. But the Eagles are not going to run. They're not going to run the ball. They might. You never know. The way the running game went, it was just bad. If you want to draw up some outside runs, maybe do something like that, but don't run in the gaps. So I'd expect to see a lot of Smallwood in that game. Maybe not a lot of Blunt. Blunt. That's another thing that I kind of want to take away from Sunday. And they should have used. Doug Peterson's play calling is just absolutely horrendous. It's terrible. That's another thing that the Eagles have to do something about it. Maybe tell Doug Peterson you're going to have to either A, fix up your play calls, or B, give the rights over to friggin' Frank Reich or somebody else. You have a good enough team to do it, to play, to compete. You saw last week, we have a good enough team to beat probably some of the elite in the NFL. You just need the right plays. I think they probably should have ran the ball. And the Carson's pick drive and they drew on after that, after Kelsey scored the touchdown. But, they didn't. So, I tell you what, I think we moved the ball pretty well. I actually think we did move the ball pretty well on Saturday or Sunday. But I think the Giant. I really think we'll beat the Giants. I really do. I mean, I think Carson Wentz. They're going to be playing. The Eagles are going to be playing with a lot of fire. The Eagles are going to be. I mean, you can say that about the Giants too, because they're 0-2. They're going to go on the link where they haven't won in 3 years. But it's still going to be tough for the Giants. It's still going to be tough because that place is going to go nuts. They know they have an opportunity to put that team away, grab another division win, go 2-1. After a great effort against a very good team. I really don't see us losing this game, but you just never know. You never know. But I am not impressed with the Giants at all. And I think, if the Eagles beat them, the Giants are going to probably get off to a terrible start. I thought, at the beginning of the year, I was with many people saying that this Giants team, might be a big contender for the NFC East. Maybe I said they win the NFC East because you see the numbers that Marshall put up, you see the numbers that Beckham has, you see the numbers that Shepard has. And I knew the offensive line was going to be a problem. I knew the running game wasn't really that great. And I thought Eli wasn't going to be a terrible quarterback. He wasn't going to be terrible as this, but but the problem, the reason why he's that terrible, it's obvious. The line is just playing like shit. So I'd say we win this game. That's just a pick. But the Giants, they're going to be playing with fire. But I really don't see how they can win. I really don't. A place where they haven't won. If you can't, listen. If you look at the last 3 times the Giants were here, so we're just talking about the recent years that they've been playing the Giants. All 3 of them are primetime games. All 3 of them are night games. We know that. We won all 3 of them. But we blew the Giant. I know this probably has nothing to do with it. I know it really doesn't. But it's just something I noticed. The first 2 games, the Sunday night game with Nick Foles and the Monday night game with Sam Bradford, 2014 and 2015, we blew the crap out of the Giants. And if I, looked, when I looked around in different parts of the stadium, when they showed, different parts of the stadium, there wasn't really many Giants fans. But then you move into net last year, and I know we still won the game. I know we didn't really kill them, but we won the game. There was a lot of Giants fans down there. There was. And, I think some of them said, I think, maybe it was probably because, if the Giants won that game, they were going to clinch, and they were they were bringing out the color rush uniforms and everything. So, I'm just saying, this has nothing to do, I don't really think this has much to do with the game, but it's just, something I really just, saw and pointed out. But I think week 3 to this Sunday, it's obviously a day game, but I think a prime time atmosphere will be brought to this game. Eagles coming in home. A lot of hope. They're coming off a tough loss against a very good team. You played them well in their stadium, which is not, and you can throw the facts about the Chiefs playing at Arrowhead and how good they are there. And they're going to play a just dreary Giants team coming off a short, they have a short week. Throw that in there. They're 0-2, even with their best player. Their quarterback is old. Their line sucks. There's a lot of blame, and that's another thing. McAdoo blamed. Now, I think this is wrong of a coach, and I don't know if it's because this is a press conference right after the game, and there's just so much going through your head. McAdoo did blame Eli for some stuff. I think that's pretty wrong. I think that's wrong on, first, I am no way, shape, or form a Giants fan. I friggin' hate them. They're number 3 in my in my team's hate list, which includes Dallas, number 1, the University of Michigan, number 2, the Giants are number 3. I'm just naming the top 4. Number 4 is the Mets, and number 5 is the USC Trojans. So, so I just hate the team. But, I think that was very wrong of a coach to do that to the quarterback. I mean, it's just very wrong, especially if the quarterback's just dealing with a shitty line and, he's taking blows and blows and blows. He's getting killed. I mean, jeez. So anyway, there's just a lot of blame going on up there. I mean, there's just a lot. I mean, all the fans are in shambles, everything. If I were the New York Giants right now, you're going to lose this game this Sunday. You're going to lose it. There's a great chance that you're going to lose this game Sunday. Why don't you just tank? Why don't the Giants just tank? Get their quarterback. Get their line. Boom. I mean, I can see the Giants defense playing a great game, but when the Giants are on offense and we're on defense and you got that pass rush, you got all 7 of those guys, maybe 4 or 5. I don't know. I don't care. If you're rushing 4 guys, they're going to I mean, if you're rushing Fletcher Cox or Brandon Graham, one of the edge guys, and freaking Eric Flowers, sooner or later, I mean, it's, give it maybe a couple seconds, and then boom, Fletcher's out in the open. He's gonna grab Eli. I mean, just geez. And you look around YouTube and you see all these Giants fans, and they're all just disappointed. I mean, like, I mean, this is just unbelievable. I thought this team was gonna beat the Cowboys last week, even without Odell Beckham. I thought they were going to beat the Cowboys. I mean, I thought they were very. I mean, what they did last year, everything that kind of panned out when they matched up against the Cowboys last year, where they swept them. I know they were close losses, but they swept them. They kept Zeke in check. They kept Dak in check. I still thought, even without Beckham, I thought they were going to win that game. But, you see how bad their line is. You see how bad their quarterback, how old their quarterback is. You see how it wears on them. And and I picked them. And then after 1 week, I picked them to lose last night. I mean, if you guys recall from Friday, I picked them to lose. And look what happened. I didn't really predict them to get killed. I mean, they lost by a good margin. They lost by 2 touchdowns. So, if you're a Giants fan, I'd be pretty concerned. So, we'll get back to the Eagles Giants in a little bit. I want to bring up the Dallas Cowboys, who are now 1-1. They lost to the Denver Broncos, and I tell you what, the Broncos, I actually think the Chargers are a pretty good team. They should be 2-0 right now. I mean, if I were a Chargers fan, Jesus Christ, I'd be losing it right now. You have a team, real quick, I'm going to dive into Chargers. You have a team that played a great Monday night game, played a great game this past Sunday in their first game in LA. And the fact that your kicker misses 2 possible game-winning field goals, it's just unbelievable. But I don't think the Broncos, I don't really think the Chargers are a bad team. They're going to be one to win this week. And, I think I tell you what, I think it might be a tough game for the Eagles one next week. So I really want to see them get this win this week. That way they're 3-1. They're 2-1, 2 wins in the division, one very, good. I want to almost call the Chiefs loss a good loss. I almost do. But, that loss against the Chiefs, and then, you're going, I think they'll be in pretty good shape if they beat the Giants. Anyway, back to the Cowboys. I know I'm getting a little bit off track. They got killed by the Broncos. I mean, that's a little bit of an understatement. They got killed. They got killed. I mean, it was just pleasant to watch. It was pleasant to watch, especially after the Eagles lost. It was very pleasant. Zeke was held in check. He was held in check. Dak was held in check. The Broncos defense just really shined, and I think, what? That is going to be a tough game come November 5th. When the Broncos come to Philly, that's going to be tough. Well, I mean, I'm glad we're at home, but that's going to be a tough game. That's just going to be a tough game. So, the Cowboys, I mean, they're 1-1 now. They're going to go play Arizona Monday Night Football. So, I mean, people are saying that's going to be a tough game. Well, I say the Cowboys escape by possession. I'd say the Cowboys escape by possession in that game. I mean, they're just, I wouldn't call them terrible, but, if I were to, through 2 weeks, and we'll dive in the Redskins in a little bit. Through 2 weeks, you look at all 4 of these teams. There's no team yet there's no above 500 team yet in this division. There's one under 500 team, and that's the Giants, and, they're in just terrible shape. So you throw them in. And then the Redskins, you got the Redskins, you got the Cowboys, and you got us. The Redskins, they barely got by a team that okay, they beat the Colts. They killed the Colts. I don't really see nothing in the Rams yet. I really see, Goff, he's growing. He's developing. Gurley is coming around a little bit. They do have some weapons. Cooper Kupp, Sammy Watkins, and, Tavon Austin. But nothing really like to write home about yet. I say the Rams are about a 500 team this year. Then you move up. So, right now I kind of put them at a third, third place, which they probably are. And you move in the Cowboys. Yes, they have the one division win, and then they get blown out by the Broncos. Blown out. So, right now they're number 2. And now number 1. That leaves us. I'm not saying we're going to finish number 1. I'm saying right now we're probably the number 1 team in the division. We're number 1. Number 1. Right now, we're number 1. They beat, we already have a division win on our hands, under the belt. Then we lost to we almost even friggin' beat the Chiefs. You're going to see that. I'm telling you what, you're going to see that team in the play. They're going to see that team go deep in the playoffs this year. I'm telling you that right now. The way that, the Eagles just gave them a tough time. They gave them a tough time. Now, if the Eagles win this, I'm telling you this right now, we will be put in very good shape, and the chances in our favor are very high. I don't think there's a betting line yet for this game, too. Is there a betting line? But anyway, if this game, I love our chances to win this game. I love our, I love this matchup right now. You got a team, a Giants, who has not won in Philly since 2013 with Matt Barkley, who was the Eagles quarterback, and it was apparent that was an ugly game back in 2013. Yeah, they killed in 2014, killed in 2015. Barely loses. I don't want to say barely, but but you get the point. The Eagles beat the Giants the last 3 years. So, if the Eagles win this game, you know, we're going to be put in very good shape. That way, we have 2 division wins. We have 1 loss to a very good team. They're going to get momentum going into the LA Chargers game, and then which will lead to and then you got the Cardinals. You got who's next? So I think there's an opportunity, and I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm not saying there's an opportunity for the Eagles to break loose right now, and like starting Sunday, there's a chance. All right, so here's the line. Eagles opened up as a 3.5 favorite over the Giants. But that changed. So they opened up as a 3.5 point favorite, and now they are a 6-point favorite over the Giants. And that shifted a little bit. So we are a 6-point favorite over the Giants. Eagles are 9-6 against the Giants. Okay, 9-6 against the Giants at the link. Like I said, they won the last 3 games at home. Eagles, and then here's a stat. I mean, here's some stats. Eagles average 25 points a game, and they just give up 22, while the Giants average 6.5 points and allow 21.5. So I mean, I think this whole, I think the line's gonna. I think it's gonna jump a little bit more too. I mean, you look at these 2 teams. You got one team that's an absolute mess. You got one team that's just going nowhere but up. And if the Eagles do lose the game, it's just gonna be terrible. It's gonna be terrible if the Eagles end up not coming out with the W. But hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully that is not the case. So yeah. Where am I at right now? How long have I been on for? I have to be on for at least. This Wi-Fi sucks in here. The Wi-Fi just blows. So it's just a game Sunday that I'm looking forward to. It's a game Sunday that I think many Eagles fans are looking forward to. The Giants don't win, just go on tank mode. You might as well. You got nothing to lose. You need a quarterback. You need a line. Get it while you can. It's just, it is what it is. You're just gonna have to, it's not looking good if you're a Giants fan. It's just not. All right, so we're gonna last 3 more minutes here, and I want to bring up what the Phillies were able to do last night, which was beat the Dodgers by a run. Aaron Altherr hit a shot, a grand slam into the second deck, and I think I probably said this before. I don't think there's been any more second deck shots in one season than this year in left field. Only in left field. Like seriously, that's another second deck left field shot. And for the Dodgers, they've been. It's just been bad. It's just been bad. If you're a Dodgers fan, terrible. Well, not terrible. You got a team that's going to go to playoffs, but like how they're going to be going into the playoffs, you want to see your team go in the playoffs with momentum, especially your September call-ups, especially the guys that are going to play in playoff games. I know you probably already clinched a spot, and you're going to probably get your division. I don't know if they got their division yet, but anyway, you want to see your team just, you want to see your team just, your guys go in there hot, go in the playoffs hot with, like look at the Indians. They just had won a 22-game winning streak. They're going to probably get, they're playing good ball. You want your team to go into the playoffs with good ball, but anyway, the Dodgers, they're They're having their issues. And the fact that, they one jumped on the Phillies, hit an inside the park home run the first inning, and then have Justin Turner hit a home run a couple batters later, or back to back, it was just pathetic if you're a Dodgers fan. Just pathetic. But anyway, it was a nice win to see for the Phillies to get. And, it's going to be fun watching this team here on out as the season winds down. Another game against the Dodgers tonight, tomorrow night, and then Thursday is a 105 game. I'm trying to hit that game up. Trying to get out to that game, maybe. I don't know, because it is the Jewish holiday. So, all the public schools are off. Yeah. So, yep. College football. Do I want to bring up college football? I want to say that tomorrow. So we all know what happened in college football this weekend. Clemson just ran over Louisville. I tell you what, Kelly Bryant is the real deal. He's just the real deal. It's since Deshaun Watson left. I thought, I don't know how Kelly Bryant was going to be at Clemson. And turns out, he's going to keep that team on the college football playoff radar for probably another few years, or as long as he's there. And, they're just dragging in recruits. They're really building. And Dabo's what he's doing a good job. So, that's a big win for Clemson. He showed that he can win a game on the road. And, that's big for them. You look at, how about that USC Texas game? I thought Texas was going to pull that out, but they didn't. That turned out to be a better game than the other game, Clemson Louisville, which many people were looking forward to. So, but I tell you what, I think USC. I have a feeling they're going to fall apart at some point. I have a feeling that I'm pretty confident when they go to play Notre Dame in South Bend. I'm pretty confident Notre Dame might, scare them, at least scare them. And I know we just beat Boston College, but, I think Notre Dame, no, I'm not going to break down the whole Notre Dame game, but, it'd be nice to see them. It would be a big step forward if they can get this primetime win against Michigan State, and if they win it easily. Like, not just like barely sneak out with W or lose, but just like hold them like they did at Boston College in a primetime crazy rivalry game away. So we'll see, as I like to say, we'll see where that goes. All right, tomorrow. Okay, we'll talk more Eagles. We'll talk more football. We'll talk some college. We'll talk some betting lines. We'll do some of that. Phillies. Sixers and Flyers. The seasons are starting to come about, and they're starting to come, and they're on their way. So we might kick in some there. Usually, listen, I'm not good with hockey. I'm all right with basketball. I watch all the games. I tell you what I see. I tell you who impresses me. I really don't have much of knowledge of basketball as I do with hockey. Or, I don't really have much of an idea of, I understand baseball and football a little bit more than those two sports, but, I still watch them. So, with this, I'm actually kind of excited for them, but I don't really talk about them as much. So that's what I'm trying to say. I really don't really talk about them that much, but I usually talk most of my hockey and basketball when the seasons are going on. So, yeah. All right. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. We'll go back. We'll come back tomorrow, Thursday. Thursday stuff. I don't know. We'll see about Thursday. I might do one Thursday morning, Friday, and yeah. So thanks for tuning in, and I will see you guys, and I'll come back on tomorrow, and that's when I'll see you. I guess I don't know. All right.